Hey guys, I have been working nonstop, a lot of things. So, but I did do what I said I was gonna do, and I did get a superhero done. And like I said, this is gonna kick off a whole story arc where there's gonna be a lot of characters, gonna be villains, 80%. Like a lot of the villains are gonna be villains that are old, but they were still being used during this battle. But we're not there to the battle yet. But let me just show you. Okay, so one, there's a lot of mistakes here, but there's also a lot of new things I want to point out. But first, superheroes. So first of all, this is a superhero who is, well, after when the battle's over, he called himself the Cyber Dragon. A lot of people are recognizing Yu-Gi-Oh in that. I promise you, I am a little bit irritated for the fact they have Cyber Dragons in Yu-Gi-Oh, but we're not going to get into that. Not yet. Um. So yeah, pretty much there is a giant origin story, and I should have started with villains, but I already did villains. So we're going to cut the story up in half a little bit. So we're not going to get the full part of the story, but we're going to get some other parts that you're going to hear that are connected to the villain that will be made. Confusing. So this is so pretty much he is from a Shadowverse, by the way, a Shadowverse that holds warriors, and these warriors were known to breaking from their Shadowverse just to help any point in time when it came to space wars, planets, anything. But when the blast that happened on Earth gave people powers, they had affected a lot of the Shadowverses, and so their Shadowverse had to go in lockdown. Their 10 sorcerers were able, well, I said the 10, I should call them 10 guardians, were able to, was able to use their magic to close their Shadowverse permanently. By the way, all of them are female. I will not be drawing them, but I will be saying they're all female because they are not important. But also that prevented a lot of warriors. A lot of warriors actually got happy about this. They got to learn about themselves and got to learn what they liked in their life. Honestly, they were kind of glad and they hoped that the shield was never broken. But, and by the way, I changed my mind. We're going to tell a story anyways. There was one person in particularly did not like it, and that was because when it came to these warriors were not known to kill. They were just known to just try to stop them at any cost. And because of that, there was one person they would send when things got really bad because he had no problem with killing. They called him Berserker. And with a lot of people being happy about this, he was the only one who wasn't. Now we're going to speed this up a little bit. Pretty much there are two orbs, okay? Two stone orbs, and they hold great power. He stole one of them because if he wasn't going, because he wanted to fight. So he was planning to destroy everything. He It's kind of like his own way of punishing them for containing him. So what he did is he took the orb and made a creature that did not exist at all and is not known to anyone. Made from pure darkness and rage. And then what he did is fuse the orb and the creature together with him. He used that dark power to break through the Shadowverse and ends up with him going to wreak havoc. Now, there's a part of his story that will not be told until I draw him. Also, there was two people who were trying to stop him. Both of them are brothers, but they couldn't really. Since they couldn't stop him, they took one of the orbs and went to one of the celestial sorcerers and asked him to help them break the orb in half. Now, by the way, this orb is indestructible, but they are the only ones that can break it. So they broke it in half, separating the power into two, allowing them to separate it. Now, since the power was cut in half, they pretty much figured out that they could do the same thing. So they both made creatures and exorb and put them inside their body. Now, because of this, this is the other brother. He was able to so he made himself a bit of like a cyber dragon. well, a cyber energy dragon to be precise. But yes, and because of that, their bodies, like his, took a whole new form. So both of their bodies turned into a little bit like armor-like stuff, but he took more of this form. He was able to release dragon wings, able to like make like a blaster out of his own arm, and pretty much he's able to morph his body in certain ways. Not completely, but in certain ways. Okay, we are gotten to the story. This is the longest story I've ever posted, and so that's going to be the thing that's terrifying me with the TikTok limit. But with me do this fast for now, I could tell you about some of the stuff. Okay, number one, what I like. What I like is how I promotion his body, because I definitely want him to be standing upright, and be a little bit cooler. I do love the gem in the chest. That did give it a little bit more of that personal design. I do love a lot of this stuff, and I definitely loved how much the wings came out, because it's the first time he ever putting wings on a character. So, including dragon wings. So I really want to do some justice with this, and I think I did it pretty well. The only thing I wish is I kind of could have put a little bit of a slint into the area that you couldn't, that like, pretty much for then it looked like the wings could have like, they like expand instead of me saying like, oh yeah, these expand and they will just let him fly. Things I don't like about this drawing. If I'm going to be honest, I don't like I like some of this, but I don't like how I've had this one gold streak. And when I started coloring and shading it, I started realizing that I could have just done a whole bunch of gold streaks around to not make it look so silver, but to break it off a little bit to make it look like gold and silver. That's like my only mistake. My other one is the fact that I couldn't figure out how to do an armor version of it. I do like the way I have this style done, but I think if it had armor, if it looked like it was wearing like a whole armor suit with this pose, would have made it look even better. So yeah, those are my only dislikes and likes. Okay. Now, like I said, I like the wings. I like how good I did it. Now, like I said, I was going to tell you guys my problem with there being a cyber dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm going to show my face for this one. My problem with the fact there's cyber dragons in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that when you search up cyber dragons and you're looking for art stuff, you need to get so specific with that. Because Google searching cyber dragons, you're only getting the Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I've literally tried and so hard to get like a natural cyber dragon artwork and get like a very like someone who draw their own cyber dragons, not just Yu-Gi-Oh. I love Yu-Gi-Oh to death, and I love the cyber dragons in Yu-Gi-Oh. So it tears my heart. But when I'm doing artworks, I don't want to do it based off of Yu-Gi-Oh all the time. Sometimes it will be great, sometimes it won't. I don't want to be forced to. But the wings are from that Yu-Gi-Oh episode. I was forced to. I swear I could not find any other bear wings, and I needed them to be metal. So, sorry guys, I tried my best. I really did. But it was impossible. God dang it. Now, obviously, I'm going to say this, like, I know I do weaknesses all the time, but I feel like you guys could figure it out, though, their weaknesses. Also, I like to mention that since they're both making creatures, they're able to hear their creatures in their head, just like Dragontaurs are able to. So, and also, energy-based weapons are obviously able to be stopped by absorption or anything else, really, when it comes to reflecting and stuff. I may put a limiter on their powers that, like, damage them from the inside. I may do that, but I need to think about that for a little bit. So, yeah, just give me time by tomorrow, and I will think about it, and I will have the other drawing, by the way. So yeah, see you guys there. Crimson Thunder out.